I'm watching hummingbirds out my window for a little tiny break, and they're so fun to watch. Today we're going to be looking at chapter 0.5, which is properties of real numbers. And so they have all the properties in there, and we're going to be looking at some of those right now. And so let me see here. I push that button to get over here to my note sheet. So the commutative property says that the commutative property of addition, so this is the property, I just put it there from out of your book, says A plus B is equal to B plus A, meaning that you can add in any order, and certainly you could see that that would be true, right? If I had 4 plus 5, so there's 4, and here's 5 more, that would be the same as 5 plus 4, right? Both of them are 9, and so it doesn't matter which one that I have first. And so the commutative property, they were wanting me to show it, is 5 plus 4. There's also the commutative property of multiplication, which says I can multiply in either order. So multiplying 3 times 5 is the same as multiplying 5 times 3. And so if you did the drawing, the matricey things, people get all crazy with, let's see if I can even do it. Should I draw 3 columns first? And there's 3 columns. And then 5 rows. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 5. And then count them. That's 15. And people will get crazy and they'll say, no, what you've drawn is 5 times 3 and not 3 times 5. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what order that I draw. I mean, it wouldn't matter if I drew here's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I gotta have to make this a little bit bigger. There's 5 of them, right? So there's 5 and then 3 this way. Do you guys agree that no matter what, there's going to be 15? And so does it matter how I do that? No, it doesn't matter how I do that. Then there's the associative property. And the associative property says that you can rewrite it so that somebody different is inside the parentheses when you have all add. So this associative property of addition. So it's telling me do these two first, add them together first. But I can't add together 6 and x because I don't know what x is. So I wouldn't be able to add them together. But the associative property says that, hey, you can leave them in the same order. And instead of having the parentheses around the 6 and the x, you can move those so that the parentheses are around the 5 and the 6. And why that's helpful is I can add 5 and 6 together. I get 11. And this is 11 plus x. And so people always ask, hey, would I need the parentheses around there? Well, 11 plus x without the parentheses around it, since the parentheses not telling me to do anything, because there was nothing out here to multiply with it or anything, you don't need the parenthesis. Another thing that someone will usually ask me is, can I write the x first? So could I write it as x plus 11? And the answer is, these are exactly the same. And why is that okay to write it like that? Well, it's that property, right? And so those are exactly the same because that's just adding. You can change the order. And this is the associative property of multiplication. And the associative property of multiplication says, it's telling me multiply 2 times a there together. But it's saying that, hey, you can change who's in the parentheses. Now I can write 2a is exactly the same as 2 times a. And so when I want to put the 1/3 and the 2 in parentheses, I need something. That doesn't make sense. So I need the times and then times a. And so I don't need I can leave off the times symbol when I have a number and then a letter. But if I have 2 numbers, I need the times symbol. And so really this was shorthand for that. And so if you're thinking where the multiply came from, it was shorthand. And so this is 1/3, 1/2, I wrote 1/3 times 2 over 1, right? And because if I want to write the 2 as a fraction, and so this is 2 over 3, right? So this is 2 over 3a. So we did a lovely job there. 2/3 a. Beautiful. And some more properties for us to do. This in this section are the distributive property. And the distributive property says that when you have something inside parentheses that you can't add together and you're multiplying it, that thing on the outside of the parentheses is multiplying to both of them. So it's being distributed to both of them. So a times b and a times c. So how that would look here is that this, I can't add x and 3 together. They're not like terms. And so you wouldn't be able to add those. And so I wonder if I can zoom in a little. Oh, just a little. I think that might be a little better. And so since I can't add these together, I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to multiply, right here, I'm going to multiply the 5 and the x. So that's 5 times x. And I am going to write it like that just right now. But remember, 5 times x is the same as 5x. And then you would, to the next one, so I have the add sign comes along, 5 times 3. And most of the time people don't write that. This is what people think in their head. So this is what they're thinking, right, in their head. I'm also thinking right now about pizza and hummingbirds are in hummingbirds. They're so cute. I don't know why I want to change their name to hummingbirds right now, but anyway, so hummingbirds. And so I'm just thinking that in my head. So 5 times x is 5x. Whoops, that 5 started looking a little essy. 5x plus, and then 15. 3 times 5 is 15. And so, and then we're all finished. That's the story, right? I can't add 5x plus 15 together because they're not like terms. I don't know what this is, right? Because it changes depending on the value of x. And so we did a lovely job on that. And same thing here, even though it's got some wild fractions for us to handle, right? I'm going to multiply here, and then I'm going to multiply here. So twice, right? So I'm going to have 1/3 times 6x plus 1/3 times 9y. And again, this is usually what someone just thinks, right? And then right here, I can't multiply with the x, but I can multiply the 1/3 and the 6. So in my little head, I'm thinking 1/3 times 6 over 1. And would you guys agree that's 2? So this is 2x plus, and I'm thinking in my head 1/3 times 9 over 1, right? And that's 3y. And then I can't add these together because they're not like terms. They're not both numbers, right? They're not both variable x. One of them is a variable y, one's a variable x. X's only add with other x's, y's only add with other y's. And then one more to do on distributive property. And so we'll give a try to that. And this says start distributing those parentheses because 5x plus 6, they're not like terms. And that says stop distributing. And so the 20 is not part of the being multiplied by 3. So I'm going to be multiplying here, multiply here, 3 times 5x, and multiply here, plus, right, bring that sign down, 3 times 6, and then plus 20. And so, and then I just got to do it. So this is 15x, and this is 18 plus 18. And most of the time people think that. They don't write it. And then now, 15x isn't like terms with 18, and 15x isn't like terms with 20, but 18 and 20 are like terms with one another, right? They're both numbers, and so you could add those together, and that would be 38. So this would be 15x plus 38. And then that would be everything that we could do there. And so we did a lovely job on that. It was beautiful. And so that's the end of, was it section 0.5? It was section 0.5.